I love some of those views.
Now, so in off season, do you stay up here or do you?
I live in Asheville, North Carolina over the winters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I go down there. I work down there at a climbing gym / bike park. So I put up, I'm a setter, so I'm a route setter at that gym. So I put up all those climbs that people are climbing. Kind of put that thought into it. It's a nice, fun, analytical job. Keeps me in shape too.
Oh yeah, great. How's the rappelling here? Have you done that rappelling at all?
The only time I really rappel is after I climb, but there's some, I will point out a like world-renowned rappel spot. It's on the lower gorge. It's the start of the Endless Wall Trail. So I'll point that one out when we get a little closer and remind you. There might be some people up there today, especially because it's a Saturday. Might be some people up there rappelling today.
Now they got mountain bikes too, mountain bike trails.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of mountain bike trails on property too.
Okay, so that you basically, I think you can rent them right there.
You can rent them right there. I believe you can rent them and you can rent a guide too, or you can just you can do a guided trip, or you can just kind of find a map and go mountain biking on your own and get your butt kicked.
Or like him, he just gets
hilly.
Lost.
Yeah, that too.
That's why I brought him with me.
I mean, at some point you'll find civilization. You know, keep going uphill.
How's the zip lines? Are they pretty cool?
Oh yeah, the zip lines are so much fun. Been on it a couple times, not too many, but they're definitely fun. There's one called Terminal Velocity, and I think that one's about 300 feet long. Right, so you're getting like a football field worth of zip lining going over a gorge. It's pretty. You're right. It's like we passed some of that zip line course on the way down to the river today. While you guys were driving, I don't know if you guys saw kind of some wooden platform and tree houses on the left.
No.
They're kind of, unless you know where they are, kind of difficult to see them. But you're right on the edge of the gorge, basically where we put in, right? So you get that beautiful view on some of those. There's some nice wooden platforms that are definitely Kodak worthy.
Cool. I went for the GoPro. It'd be good to either have it up high or you want to see down
for
below.
a zip line.
Yeah.
Really, the zip line one, if you're on the side, right? Because when you're strapped in, you have that thing in the way. But really, if you're aware of it, right, you can kind of go down and just pull it to the side, and you're like, oh, sweet. Yeah. But if it's on the side, then you kind of get that zip. You get the side view of the zip and the cord of you instead of just staring right at it.
Right.
That thing is like
Yeah.
I got it.
The only thing about those sticks though is the guides all catch you on the zips, right? So you get to the bottom. It's a gravity zip line, right? So you go down and then it slows you up kind of on the way back up. But you got to really be careful about, not hitting your guide in the face with that, right?
Probably just
exactly. So there are some guides that are like, you got to prove to me that you can get caught safely anyways. Right, because I've done 2 or 3 zip trips down there when they needed some people, and I mean sometimes you just get blasted by somebody and it hurts really bad.
I saw somebody.
Now, how does that work with a guide with a zip line?
So there's multiple guides, and so there's a couple guides for the catching and a guide for the takeoff, right? So they're clipping you on, right? Those 2 guides go over first, catch themselves. And then maybe that 3rd guide's over there clipping everybody in and just calling on the radio, hey, A line's going, cool, B line's going, whether or not it's clear, because some zips you can see the bottom, some zips you can't, so you gotta, call and make sure that they're offline A.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
So pretty good system, pretty cool.
What were you saying, Jake?
I had somebody hit his helmet because he had the GoPro attached on top.
Oh,
so when he hit the brake thing, it just went.
Really tried to find an eagle.
That's the second best.
I remember, do they ever have an endangered species come off of that list?
They do, all the time, but unfortunately, people, the endangered species, they take them off too soon. And so most of the time, endangered species, they end up back, if they come off, they 90% of the time go back on that endangered species list. You see something?
Yeah, you see that dark green spot right up there?
Like way high or right up on this kind of like first section?
Oh, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
Way, way high. To the right of that, there's like a little bird. I think that might be a sea.
It's like a white color, maybe.
There it is again. It's like a black thing circling. I think that's it right there. Oh, it's a thing.
So see the sun, look to the left of the big clouds, and then look to the one to the left
How
of
big
that.
they look like in this like
Then we went inside. Hazel said we're the best group he's ever had. Did he ever tell you
he's
that?
full of shit.
His first trip too.
Oh, okay.
Kimberly
it
and I
is
are
true.
going
I
to be
didn't
doing,
think
we're
this
going to do a little subbing out. We're going to even this out a little bit.
Yeah.
We're doing some great things. Yeah, I think you guys got the better end of the deal. Well, testosterone.
Okay. Then.
Do it faster. Got Callie, and she's tough as a nail. Don't.
Listen, if you want to splash them, I'll get them to where we're in the best case scenario, 2 splash them. All right, let's go 3 forward. Wow, you guys weren't together. That's okay though.
I'm watching.
Let's go 2 more. All right, now you can splash them. But see, now when they're splashing, they're paddling backwards, so we just get to go further.
True, yeah.
that is how you splash people.
Very
right there.
strategic.
Right?
Very strategic.
What's in this cooler?
That's you know, stuff for the bears. We got a bunch of guns in there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dynamite.
Yeah, don't
No,
talk
that's
about
part of our
drugs
lunch.
about my brother.
Right, so we're gonna eat lunch on the river. That's right, we're gonna we got probably chips and cookies and a bunch of stuff in there. Right, we got 2 other coolers and a water cooler out here today. Not just here for show. I saw Jimbo pointing up here to the left. He may see something. But we'll see. He's a little bit further in front of us. Kind of can see more.
You said they would be in the lower section of the trees or the
Right, like some of these trees right here.
Yeah.
See how you get a real good view of the water?
Oh, got
Right,
it.
those trees that really have a lot of visible branches.
Got
They really enjoy hanging out on those, but sometimes they're just perched in, you know, sometimes you can only see them from one spot. Just because those trees are just thick.
Too small for me to be heavy.
Try to hold something up that it looked like some kind of a
Oh, that's way
dead fish or something. And hold it up in your hand and see if the eagle comes down. And take it out of your hand.
take off the hand.
Let's go 3 forward for me, guys. See, right, you guys paddle at the same time. Shh, don't tell everybody, but you're better than them.
I told you.
Right? You just have to know it.
Yeah. Exactly.
The last trip we took, and there was another, group with us,
Yeah.
and it looked like the comedy hour. I mean, the guide was screaming at them the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you heard was smacking paddles and.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. If you hear
Ryan,
this
the
all
guy-
day,
the guide was literally
You got-
he was getting pissed off.
And then there was the people that had their paddles just like splashing the water.
right? Those lily dippers is useless.
But it
Right.
was the guy when he got out, he goes, I've never had a group like that.
And that's the funny part is, like, you know, I've had the crews that are great, that like you think are great, that can't get you to where you need to go. Like in the rapids, they just, you know, they suck. I had the crews that suck in flat water, but all of a sudden become like Olympic like paddlers in the whitewater. You know, that's usually when you hit rocks, right? But it's all about like all these guides. They're gonna say the same thing. We can deal with good paddlers. We can deal with bad paddlers, right? It's the inconsistent paddlers that are really hard, right? Because if I ask for 5 forward, I want to know what I'm getting, you know? So sometimes, right, I'll point out this rock in our first class 5, but first swimmer I ever had, right? I said, forward. And they gave me 2 paddles, but I expected them to need like 7 or 8 to get me to where we were going. But they just turned into amazing paddlers. And I was like, uh-oh. We just hit a big old rock right at the top of class 5. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like they literally all just went, whoo, whoo. And we were gone. And I was like, we have no chance of saving this. So have fun swimming, guys. Right? But it's just so funny. Like and you get like basketball players, you know, like you got those sports players, there are 2 types of athletes. There's athletes and then there's sports specific athletes, right? You got basketball players that you give them a soccer ball, they look like they've never played a sport in their life, right? I love those. I've had a whole basketball crew before, group of 8 guys, high schoolers, fit, thought they'd be great. Like the worst paddlers I've ever had.
Wow.
Like just not coordinated, couldn't stay together. And I was just like, you guys play a team sport. Like, and you're all on the same team. This is kind of sad.
I remember he had a picture of his trip, and they were going through a rapid.
Oh yeah.
And they were in the front of the boat. They were the only 2 that had their paddles in the water.
Oh, naturally.
And he goes, look at this, Bernie. He says, look at the people. And he was right. Everybody had their paddles like here.
Paddles like this.
They were like here.
Oh yeah, right. And that's the thing. Those are the people that fall in.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
We flipped it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. One
thought I was
flips.
gonna die.
Right. Especially if everybody does that. Like, you know, you're flipping.
That was terrifying. I got caught underneath the raft and I couldn't get out from
Yeah.
underneath it.
You just were you very indecisive? Just kept trying to go 2 feet this way and 2 feet that way.
Yeah, I was
Right.
I was
If you choose a
panicking.
direction, you always make it
Yeah,
out.
I was panicking. It literally was upside down. Luckily, there was like a little bit of
Little air pocket.
a little bit of air
Right?
pocket. and
Yeah,
I
I've
was
flipped a boat before, and I've
was-
been under that air pocket. And I was like, I'm gonna wait a second. 'cause I
Yeah,
know
that's
there's
what I was
I was
doing.
like, I know there's some crappy rocks coming up, like,
Yeah.
but I've been underneath it, and you just feel that current. It goes bing, and just shoots you down. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was like trying. All right, I gotta keep my feet up. And yeah, I got lucky though, because that was a pretty like steep fall. It was like one big drop off, and then it was like smooth sailing. So I got lucky that I didn't fall in the middle.
And you said that was on a class 2.
It was stupid. And that's the thing is, it was just a dip, and we went in sideways because, you know, our group.
What? Do you remember the name of the rapid?
No,
Was it called Surprise?
I can't remember.
Was it
I
like
can't remember.
was it like the very beginning of the day? Like you know what I mean?
It
Like
was pretty close. Yeah.
one of the
It was
first rapids?
literally- Yeah.
honestly, it was probably Surprise.
Yeah.
When in the year did you guys come?
Oh God, what was that like?
2 years? 23 years ago.
What day?
Like month, like month. Like end of summer, June,
yeah.
June, July.
Yeah.
Right. That right around June and July is when Surprise gets its flippiest. Right. That's
Yeah.
kind of when we don't have weird water. Like we're not getting a lot of rain over the summer, so that water's slowly
Yeah.
dropping. And as Surprise gets a little bit lower, like we'll hit Surprise. That's our first class 3 today, but it's just a super fun wave train today.
Yeah.
Lower water, it gets meaty and munchy and just looks like this beautiful like wave that's crashing in the ocean, except it's not moving. Like,
Yeah.
it's just moving in that circular motion.
That's kind of what it was.
Mhm.
And,
And
we
there's
just
a-
went
there's a-
in sideways and flipped.
Right,
like
there's
a
a
slide.
perfect
Slide.
there's a level of like doesn't matter if you go in perfectly straight and you just
Yeah.
if like and you think you're just gutting it, you're hitting all of it. You're like, my crew's so good, we're gonna time our paddles right, we got great weight pushing through us.
All I remember
It
is
just
the
shuts you
dude said,
down.
like, the one
There's
of
like
them was called-
literally a spot that at a certain water level, like it's like cool. You either hit Surprise and your boat wants to flip and get everybody out of it, or like dump truck everybody, or miss it completely.
Got it.
Right? You know, it's like there's a level of we could try as much as we can, but it ain't gonna work.
Huh.
Sometimes, and it's a good place to flip people because there's a big pool right behind it. You know, you literally have a half a mile to clean up everything.
Yeah.
Um,
That's kind of what it was. Like.
Yeah, you guys
wasn't
definitely
very-
flipped at Surprise.
Yeah. It really wasn't. There wasn't much after it.
Right, I usually tell people they don't know that they don't want to flip until they flip, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks like, that's an awesome story, and there are exceptions to that, some bachelor parties, right? But like,
Or GoPro videos.
right, yeah, no, like I've told a crew before, like they're like, hey, we want to flip as many times as possible. And I looked at them and went, cool, it's $40 a flip. And they went, what? And I went, you know how much work that is for me? It's so hard to flip sometimes anyways when you're trying. But then I have to climb up on the boat, flip it, pull all y'all butts back in the boat because you can't get in by yourself.
Oh my
It's
God.
just like, listen, you want me to do that every time it flips, $40. And they shook my hand on it and I got them twice and they gave me 80. So I was like,
Oh
sounds
my
good.
God.
Heck yeah.
Right?
That
And
is funny.
but I was like, if I'm gonna work for it, y'all gotta help me out here.
That is funny. Pay to flip.
Yeah, you know?
That's cool.
Right? It's got to be in good spots though. There are some spots that are okay to flip in,
Right.
spots that aren't, right? So, you know, when we were surfing, right? You guys surfed last time, right? You were talking about surfing, getting on the hydraulic, right? That's a great place to swim, right? Surfing is the most likely spot for anybody to fall out, right? Literally just like, we're setting you up for failure, you know? Like, it's not easy to brace sometimes. People just fall out because there's a bucking. So, like, that's a great time to flip a boat or, like, get everybody out of the boat. So, right, you can, you know, you want to be on the downstream side of the boat while it's in there sideways. So it's called that high side that Tug was talking about. Well, if you know, if that boat's spinning, you just be like, get right. And then you just forget to say get left. And, like, they're all now on the low side and it flips, right? And they all think it's great. But it's just like, yeah, I did that one, like, on purpose, but it looked like it was an accident, you know? That's the way to do it.
That's funny. That is funny. And where are some of these other guides from as far as where do they go back home to?
So Tug, the trip leader, Tug lives here all year round. So does Jimbo. Jimbo's up there in the front with the dreads. Tug lives all year round and has a real job. I kind of forget what he does, but he's kind of smarter than
Oh yeah, he was like a teacher or something.
Like, he's smarter than he lets on. Like, he almost was like a rocket scientist. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Like, and like went to school like in the military and did like school stuff for that, and like I think didn't pass the test by like one question, and he was just like, all right, I don't want to, you know, I'm not going to study and take it again. You know, and he's like, I'm just going to go to my plan B, which was not rafting. That was like plan Z. Like, we hadn't even thought about it yet. But Jimbo stays here. He works full time over the winter on like the grounds crew, kind of fixes some stuff up, you know, fixes some cabins if they need it for the next year, things like that. He just kind of lives here all the time. Jackson, I think, goes back to Ohio, and Slingsby, I honestly, he moves around so much anyways. I'm not sure where he's going this season. Everybody kind of decides where they want to go each season anyways, you know? Right, like, I've been in Salt Lake City for 2 seasons, and then last year moved to Asheville again.
Oh wow, so
It's cool, you know, just kind of travel
nice
back and
here.
forth. Greetings!
Howdy.
Yeah, there it is. Greetings, Earthlings!
You got rapids coming up now?
Yeah, so we got our... What's up?
Are there like 2 entrances